serving up a warm dish of the Triad's culinary fare, here's your weekly helping of food, news, and views. This is the man who ate the town.
Hey, folks, and welcome to episode number 97 of the Man Who Ate the Town podcast. This is for the week of January 28th through February the 3rd, 2019. My name is Tim Beeman.
And my name is Ray Morgan.
And we're opening the recipe box. We are recording this episode of The Man Who Ate the Town at the Lab at Industry Hill. It is a repurposed building on North Chestnut Street in the old warehouse district of downtown Winston-Salem. Our building houses a custom furniture company, a cool upholsterer that creates things you'll see all over town, a manufacturer of fine cloth and denim totes, purses, bags, and such, and a musical creation station. And Industry Hill itself hosts a lot of cool things like restaurants, chocolatiers, breweries, entertainment complexes, a high-end stereo shop, and more. To find out more about that, visit industryhill.com or their Facebook page.
One or the other.
As I mentioned back in October when I mentioned that the Crazy Crab was opening on Peters Creek Parkway, I also mentioned that Red Crab Juicy Seafood is opening at the old Hooters location on Haynes Mall Boulevard. I have sent a message to them asking about Juicy Seafood in Hooters location.
I'm trying to be very good.
I've sent a message to them asking about the opening and to find out more about the restaurant. And again, I don't know how I feel about Juicy Seafood.
As we said just before we turned on the mics, succulent or buttery. Yes!
Yes.
The juicy seafood. Oranges. I'm all about the oranges being juicy.
Yes. Whenever I hear juicy like that, I think of like those Freshen Up gum. Do you remember that?
Oh, I
do. That you would bite into it and it had the liquid, the gush of flavor in it.
Yeah.
Not what I want out of my seafood, I don't think. But, you know, I'm ready for them to change my mind on that. So I look forward to having my mind changed. The Flower Box Tea Room and Cafe is changing locations again.
I saw that yesterday.
They started when Ollie's Bakery changed to the Flower Box and moved to Old Salem, what is now the Brookstown location of Camino.
Right.
So they moved to Old Salem to where the harpsichord was and some other things that didn't work. And now they are moving to the Schaffner House, which has been bed and breakfast and event space several times.
Yes. It's a beautiful, beautiful building.
It is. Wonderful building. I have never visited the Flower Box in Old Salem. I went to the thing it was before it was, that harpsichord or whatever, and that was just the oddest thing ever.
Now, I can tell you, over Christmas, we went with my mother-in-law and her brother and wife, along with my wife and my daughter, to Old Salem. And that's where we ended up for lunch. It was excellent. We had a very good meal. Don't ask me to give you details of it because, that was weeks ago. But I can tell you that we had a really nice meal. A lot of British kind of items that you wouldn't normally expect to see in a restaurant here.
Haggis? Do they have haggis?
No, I mean like the drinks. They have these special teas and sodas that have come over from across the pond.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, a great place. We really enjoyed it and talked about needing to go back. I guess we don't go there now. Now we go to the shop.
No, well, it's opening soon, so it's not ready yet. But I wonder, my question is, how long is it going to take folks to realize that you have to go around town to find a place to park to go there? It's on the off-ramp from what was Business 40 and Marshall there.
Right.
You can't park on Marshall unless you walk down, unless you park down the hill.
Yes.
And the only way, and the off-ramp called High Street, and
is one way.
So you have to go all the way down to Brookstown, come back up the back way to get to the parking lot.
I hadn't even thought about that, but you're right. The parking there is going to be an issue.
So drivers will just have to do a lot of finagling. It's a beautiful location with horrible access. So I hope it does well, but I think they're going to have a problem with it.
They're the next bridge to go down, too.
Yeah.
Once Broad Street opens, they're taking the next bridges down. So the Cherry and Marshall Street bridges will come down.
Well, when Broad Street's up, but they've still got to do the Liberty and Main Street, fix those first, right?
I think you're right. I think
those have to go up before Marshall and Cherry can go down.
So yeah, they're in a bad spot already, and then soon the main drag will not be out their front door.
Yeah. Incidentally, they're on that street called High Street.
Yeah.
Is it not funny that Brookstown, not Brookstown, but the Hawthorne Inn, their address is 420 High Street?
I had not realized that was their street number. Yeah. That's hilarious. Yes. Somebody did that on purpose.
Someone had to number that, and I'm sure that
they didn't make it let's start with the 1000s.
No.
Let's start with the 400s.
We're just going to go over a couple of things here. Silo has started to do tamale Tuesdays.
Oh? Tell me more.
So Will Kingery is right now the executive chef at Silo.
Mm-hmm.
They're only open until about 3 o'clock, from 11 to 3 right now until the weather. I think they said sometime late February they're going to open the evening hours back up.
Okay.
But so Will has a longtime employee named Sylvia Herrera, who's from Mexico, from the part of Mexico where Acapulco is. And she worked with him when he was at 6th and Vine.
Nice.
And has worked in all of his locations.
Long-time partnership.
Yes. She loves him like he was her own big baby, says a coworker, Jessica Ramirez. Dawn Kingery, Will's wife, calls Sylvia his work wife. So, but he had, she made like 300 for Christmas for her family. And at Silo, she's making about 50 of them per week, technically Monday and Tuesday, because tamales is typically a 2-day project. You got to stuff them, fill them, and then wrap them and throw them and whatever you're heating them in.
Right.
But they've been running out.
Oh.
Because it's
popular,
becoming big. And so, from what I remember, I think Will said that they're going to amp up production.
Well, you might as well if people are asking for it.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Working.
Yeah.
That's the point of having a restaurant, right? People
That's
come
right.
in and eat frequently.
Yep. There is a new burger spot coming to Greensboro called Big Burger Spot.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very clever name.
It's got a location, I think, in Greensboro, 2 of them. So this will be their 3rd location. It's home of the Steve Harvey burger.
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't know a whole lot about it yet. Again, I'm putting out feelers to see what I can find out. But right now, they named it the Steve Harvey Burger because the comedian and talk show host visited the restaurant in 2015 and loved this burger, apparently. So,
well, if you can claim, hey, Steve Harvey likes this burger.
That's true.
Personal endorsement, why not bank on that?
This is going to be in the new strip center near the new Lowe's Foods, which is like Disney World of Lowe's Foods, even more so than the Clemens location.
Really?
In the preparation, I was able to tour the location in Kernersville the day before they had the grand opening. A lot of the Lowe's Foods have, they have, the Lowe's Foods concepts are like 19 stations, and most of the ones around here can accommodate up to 7 or 8 of them.
Right.
This one has all of them.
All 19.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's 19. It's for whatever reason 19 jumps into my head. It's a lot.
19.
It's more than
19.
Yes, part called Hardcastle, but they had everything because they were able to build it from ground up. Because a lot of the things that they've been doing, they've had to refurb.
They're in a certain footprint to start with.
Yeah. So this one was major.
So this is the Taj Mahal. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, and it was co-designed, not co-designed, but designed with Disney Imagineers.
Really?
Help. Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the new restaurant will be opening in that shopping center.
You got to figure that's a good choice. That's going to draw a lot of people to just come check it out.
Yes. Because they're already going to be, they can stop by and get their groceries, go in and have a burger, or get the burger, then go grocery shopping afterwards. Because it's my experience, it's best if you do not go shopping while you're hungry.
Oh.
Because you end up buying a lot of stuff.
I can personally attest. What was that movie with Robin Williams? He was a Russian guy and he'd come over.
Moscow on the Hudson.
And he went into the grocery stores and just freaked out about how much food was available. That's what I'm picturing. I just want to, maybe I can reprise his role. They probably wouldn't mind me just going nuts and knocking stuff off the shelves.
was also had Yakov Smirnoff in it.
Yes.
Movie.
Yes.
Yes. He was. I mean, where is he now? Is he even still alive? I don't know, but he was funny back then.
Yeah, he had his 15 minutes.
I
Maybe
want
20.
to. I don't have it ready now, but I do want to. And we've talked about this, you and I, and other people with us. I want to do something about food trucks.
Yes.
I don't want to wait till the Burke Street Food Truck Festival.
Okay.
I want to something. Maybe we just talk about them all the time.
Right.
Rotate through them because there's a lot of new ones coming. Some old ones have done other things, like Boondoggies, like I talked about.
Well, we've got a very rich and diverse field of food trucks in this area now. They've really become very popular.
Yeah, there's a new one called Big Mouth. Cheese, Mouff,
Mouth.
Big Mouth cheesesteaks.
Ooh, cheesesteak.
Yeah, so this is from the Journal or Relish. Let's see what it says. They've been going for just a little bit, but they're now getting their name out there. Jamad and Natanya McNally are the ones who own it. They have started making the rounds of the breweries like most food trucks do. Foothills, Fiddlin' Fish, Joymongers, Wine's Man, Jugheads. So business starting to pick up.
That's been a really interesting dynamic to watch. The symbiotic relationship between the food trucks and the breweries.
Yeah, well, because people want to eat when they're drinking. The breweries want people to eat while they're drinking.
Absolutely,
but
it's safe.
They shouldn't have to pony up for a kitchen if there's someone who's willing to drive their kitchen there.
Well, and that's not what they started. They started a brewery.
Right.
If they'd wanted a restaurant, they would have opened a restaurant. But I love the way that symbiosis works, that, all right, I'm going to go over tonight because this truck is here, but I'm going to go, back tomorrow night because it's a different restaurant.
Yeah. Right. And it is a different, they have now a rotation. They're all the time different. So Jamad currently drives a truck for a moving storage company, but years ago he managed several fast food restaurants and worked at other restaurants like Copeland's, which was a Cajun food chain right next to the juicy seafood place.
I loved Copeland's.
I did too.
Service was horrible, but the food was awesome.
I got by with the service because I always sat at the bar and I got to know the 4 or 5 people that worked there. So it was always cool. I would flirt with the bartenders.
I had a date on New Year's Eve at Copeland's and sat at the bar for an hour while both couples on either side of me were served. We were not served until I finally cornered the manager and said, "Hey, what's the deal?" That was really frustrating for me.
Oh,
And ultimately, that is what killed them. They brought a guy in from Atlanta that tried to take over and improve things, but the service never could get fixed.
no.
It was sad because the food really was amazing.
Yeah. It was a bit on the spicy side, but
Yeah.
New Orleans. you
Yeah,
know.
but it was good spicy.
So they have a large menu of 14 subs, all variations of the cheese steak theme. Most combinations of toppings are available with steak or chicken. And almost every item features green peppers, onions, and cheese. Most subs range from $8.25 to $10.75, which is not bad for a food truck.
No.
Not bad for any place. for
No,
a
that's
cheese steak.
about what you'd expect to pay for a sub these days.
Yeah. So the classic adds mushrooms to the mix. The Carolinian has slaw chili and spicy mustard. The Swag has meat with provolone, sauteed garlic, spinach, portobello mushrooms, and spicy mustard. There's also a vegetarian sub with portobello mushrooms, tomatoes, and spinach.
That sounds good too.
The Jersey Fresh, available with steak or chicken, features sliced potatoes in the bun, along with peppers and onions.
Interesting.
Because Jamad said he's from New Jersey in Essex County, and there's a lot of Italian sub places there. And they make these subs with fresh peppers and onions and sliced potatoes inside the bread. They're known for that. So, yeah.
It's bringing something here, something new. I like it.
Yeah, it sounds really cool. I'm going to follow them on Facebook and see if I can find where they're going to be sometime that I'm going to A, have money, and B, be out. But I would love to try it. My thing with food trucks, though, is usually like the lobster roll thing that went on. They were at Fill and Fish Saturday. 100 people in line before they even opened.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, everybody involved had to be happy with that, and except for number 99 and 100 in line.
Yeah, when they run out.
Yeah. That's great. I mean, truthfully, that's what you want to see happen for both the brewery and for the truck.
Yeah.
Clearly, that's one that has built a following. But I do remember seeing a lot of stuff on social media for them as well.
Yeah. So it's, I want to, I don't know that I want to highlight a food truck every week, but I think if we can get some interest in that,
Maybe get a couple of them to join us.
that'd be good. Or tell us where they're going to be and we can go there.
Yeah.
And I have my little recorder. I don't have my mobile rig with me. It's at one of the beer dad's office, actually my wife's office in Greensboro right now. But it's nothing that says we can't go sit up there and interview people around them. Because they do, especially for these lunchtime food truck rodeos. Because I mean, let's face it, there's not a food truck that's cranking out food that fast. It's just the nature of the business. So people will have time to talk to us.
Well, I know a couple of them personally. Food Freaks. I know Brandon Cassidy.
Okay.
Great guy. And actually, it would be a blast to get him to come in here. He's just one of those dynamic personalities that you can't help but like the guy.
Well, I have tried to talk to him. I'll put that out there. I have tried to talk to him whenever they had the brick and mortar location. I say brick and mortar. It wasn't much brick and mortar, but the location over on Haynesmall Boulevard.
That was nobody's going to be able to make that space work without tearing it down and start over again.
I mean, that barbecue place didn't last 6 weeks.
I know. There's no place to sit down and eat.
Unless it's sweltering hot, and then nobody wants to do that either.
Well, if it's a rainy day, are you going to go down there and stand outside to order?
I'm not.
Even McDonald's gives you an awning. So, yeah, it was a good idea for him to do brick and mortar. I just don't think that was the right spot.
No, they should try someplace else.
But I'd be happy to see if we can't reach out to him. And I'm sure he knows a lot of the other trucks. I know you know a lot of these folks.
Yeah. So let's brainstorm. Think about this, not necessarily even in here. Just think on our own time. Think of ideas for something to do with food trucks, because it is a growing niche in this town. It has been growing for a while, and it's continuing to do so, and it's awfully popular. So I believe that we can find some way of promoting them, and if that gets a couple people to listen here, then
that's fantastic. And we're promoting another local business.
Yes.
Again, you're talking about how local can you get? That truck is here. They live here. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's pretty exciting because somebody like Brandon, he was working for a college over in Greensboro and had always had this dream of running his own food truck. And I remember him talking about it years before it happened. And then one day he said, all right, this is probably the last time you're ever going to meet me in this office. I just got the truck.
Nice.
You know, and just to see he's realizing his dream. Ran into him just a couple of days ago, and he's still just so excited with what he's doing.
That's a bonus.
Yeah.
When you can be excited about that.
He gets to live his passion. You know, and we should all be that fortunate. We should all do that.
Yes, we should.
Yes.
DiLisios, I want to bring up again, they're going to have their 2 seatings for a wine dinner on Valentine's Day, 4 courses, and each with a different wine, $65 a person. Like I said, there are 2 seatings, one about, I think, 4 maybe. I'm not sure. You just call them and ask them the details. Don't take my word.
Yeah,
my
get
word
on the
for
list.
But you can call 336-546-7202 or email DiLisios@yahoo.com.
Yeah.
Tell them that the man who ate the town sent you. Yesterday, I was at Wise Man Brewing.
Mm-hmm.
Tony's birthday is today.
Okay.
And Maria threw him a surprise party at Wise Man, and we were down in the actual brewing room.
Nice.
In the
Yeah.
the actual brewery. And it was really cool. He knew about it right before they got there. I think he just figured it out. But it was a good time. There was only probably about 10, 15 people total, and they didn't want a whole bunch of people. It was a small invitation list, but it was just fun.
Yeah.
And he's feeling a little bit better. I couldn't pick him up and sling him around like I used to, and whenever he breathes, it hurts, and whenever he sneezes and coughs, it really hurts. But you know, he said he's getting better, and this week he actually got to work, I think, 1 whole day.
Ooh.
So he's
Good.
working his way back.
Yay. That's exciting.
So yeah, definitely check out them for their wine and wine Valentine's dinner. Let's do some of the useless
useless facts.
Useless facts, or
Love
not
it.
the facts, but the absurd holiday names that people have come up with. The 28th, which is today, is National Blueberry Pancake Day.
I'm sorry.
Oh wait, it gets better. Not today, but later on in the week.
I ran track in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
We got to go to a big invitational. And our coach actually made the mistake of allowing us to go to IHOP before the meet.
Yeah. Okay.
And the guy who had to run the mile had a big old plate of blueberry pancakes.
So
We all got to see him about an hour later when he finished the mile.
I must say, how he left the blueberry pancakes all over things. Yeah.
Well, he was nice enough to put it in the infield, not the track.
Well,
but just barely.
Yeah. That's Ralph over there.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't live that down. Still hasn't. We're still remembering.
So on this date in 1873, Louis Pasteur of Paris received a U.S. patent for improvement in brewing beer and ale. We thank you, Louis, for that.
Thank you.
In 1914, John James McLaughlin died. He was a Canadian chemist and pharmacist. He was the founder of Canada Dry soft drinks.
Oh, they make a good ginger ale.
Yes, they do. They used to make things other than ginger ale, too. They had, like, flavored.
I think they still do, but
just not here.
Mostly what you're going to see is the ginger ale.
Yeah. In 1915, Congress created the Coast Guard.
Nice.
In 1916, in Canada, we didn't need them. In Canada, in 1916, the Manitoba legislature passes the Temperance Act, allowing the use of liquor at home, but still prohibited public bars.
They got over it.
Yeah.
They got better.
In 1947, Colgate-Palmolive registered Ajax trademark for soap and household cleanser. On the 29th, it's National Corn Chip Day.
Yes.
So if you're a Fritos or Scoops or whatever fan,
I have a valid excuse to grab that bag of corn chips.
Amen.
I'm celebrating.
Get some dip while you're at it.
Yeah.
See, I prefer with my dip, with my French onion or sour cream and onion dip, I prefer corn chips over potato chips.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of stuff that you can use corn chips for.
Oh,
Love them. Yes.
Well, it's your own vessel.
Yes. And it doesn't have to just be the French onion style. I mean, you can go with like a refried beans or even chili.
Yes.
It's really good with that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry.
On the me too. I'm not eating anything all day. The first patent for a glass milk container was issued to George Lester tomorrow in 1878. Incidentally, they're talking about bringing back glass milk containers I saw it on CNN, but I forget why they said it was something about a shortage of cartons or something like that, or something. They're thinking about, will the classic milkman save the day? I don't know what that was all about. I just saw that they're talking about a return of glass milk containers. And I know you can still buy milk in glass containers. It's just not as popular.
Yeah. Interesting. Now, we're still talking about tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow.
Okay. Last week, I jumped the gun.
Mm-hmm.
But tomorrow is my daughter's 19th birthday.
All right. Well, happy birthday, Francesca.
Happy birthday to you.
The 30th is National Croissant Day.
Oh, I can get behind that too.
Yeah, I love them.
Especially the chocolate ones.
I don't know that I've ever had a chocolate croissant.
Oh, it's all so good.
Magnifique. On the 30th, in 1516, Duke Wilhelm IV of Bavaria instituted one of my favorite things to say, the Reinheitsgebot.
The what?
It's the German beer purity law, and prohibits. It can only contain water, hops, barley, and malt.
That's it.
Yeah.
You figure out what you do with that inside those four ingredients, but that's it.
That's the German, other people can make whatever they want to out of it.
But it can't be called beer unless it has these four ingredients.
Right. German purity law is probably the first consumer protection law ever.
Really?
Yeah, 1516. Reinheitsgebot.
That far back.
Yeah. And the reason I knew that word already was, the oldest brewery in the world still functioning is the Weihenstephaner brewery in Germany. And it says on there, proudly following the rules of 1516 Reinheitsgebot.
Nice. You've been there, haven't you?
I have not. I wish I had.
Sounds like you have. You could have convinced me. I was right there with you.
In 1906, on the 30th, the New England Confectionery Company, also known as Necco, registered Necco Sweets trademark for candy. Now, I did read today that they shuttered the place up this past July, which I hate that because I actually like the Necco wafers.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they also made those conversation hearts that had the little candy hearts that had
that's right.
I love you
yeah.
and
Kiss me.
Yes. So they're going to be
That wasn't a
missed.
request. That was just a statement of what was on the heart.
Well, I was going to have to not acquiesce that request. But
Glad we're clear about that.
but but they say that there's a shortage, so I hate that. In 1912, the Carolina Fruit Growers Exchange registered Sunkist for lemons, not oranges as we would think today, but
Right.
but it's for lemons. But we know them now as that. On the exact same day, the Hawaiian Pineapple Company registered J.D. Dole trademark for canned pineapple.
Nice. Didn't realize that would have been the day.
On the 31st of January, it is my dad's sister's birthday.
Yay!
So
happy
is the
birthday.
year that that's the time when they are no longer the same age.
There you
For 11 months and just shy of 11 months, they are the same age. My aunt was born the 31st, my dad the next 8th of January. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So this is the day that it changes on the 31st. But it's also National Brandy Alexander Day.
Okay.
I've not had a Brandy Alexander in a long, long time.
I don't know that I've ever had.
Next time I go to a bar, I'm going to see if they can make one. They're probably going to look like, what?
What? Let me get the ancient book out.
Yeah, Mr. Boston here to the rescue. On the 31st in 1933, Dracket Chemical of Cincinnati, Ohio, registered the Windex trademark. In 1980, due to record high sugar prices, that's when Coca-Cola began substituting high fructose corn syrup for half the sucrose used in Coca-Cola. About the time they started to not be as good.
Yeah.
Not counting that debacle in 1985.
We'll just leave that unsaid.
Yes.
Because that was a very dark time in my life.
It was a dark time in everybody's life. The 1st of February is Baked Alaska Day. It's also Bubblegum Day.
Mm-hmm.
Come here to kick ass and chew bubblegum. And I'm all out of bubblegum. What's that from?
You got me.
It was spoken by Rowdy Roddy Piper in the movie They Live.
There you go. You got me. I don't know that I've ever seen that.
Oh, you're not missing anything. Actually, it's not that bad of a movie, truthfully.
Well, if Rodney Piper's in it.
Roddy Piper.
It's got to be awesome.
It actually was pretty good. No. He wasn't that awful of an actor. On the 1st of February in 1953, James Lewis Kraft died.
Oh.
He was the founder of Kraft Company, a wholesale cheese distributor and producer. We call it cheese.
Yes.
In 1916,
Cheese
he patented pasteurized processed cheese, a low-cost cheese that would not spoil. Not a great hit with the public, but the U.S. Army purchased over 6 million tins of it during World War I, and during the Depression it became popular because of the low cost, and then people just got used to it.
Yeah. I used to eat chunks of that as a kid. My grandmother would keep it in the house. You could leave it in the trunk of your car for a while,
Yeah.
couple, and it still, you just unwrap it, eat it. Now, not as much.
No.
Now I want actual cheese.
Yeah.
Not cheese product.
Cheese processed food. Yeah, no, I don't want that.
What a great euphemism. Because it's not really food.
Yeah, food product. So in 1960, and I'm going to use this word with parentheses because that's what it says here. On the 1st in 1964, colored students from the Agricultural and Technical College in Greensboro, what we call A&T,
Yep. Let's go
sat down at the lunch counter in Woolworths and ordered coffee. They were refused service, but made history.
They didn't leave.
They didn't leave. Well, they left when they were escorted out by the cops, but
Right.
they refused to leave. I mean, it was good. The first successful sit-in, however, happened here in Winston-Salem.
Really?
Yeah, it was, I forget what the store was, but it was, because there was a Woolworths on Liberty.
Right.
If you're on the corner of Liberty and 4th Street,
That's where Woolworth
oddly,
used to be.
right across from the controversial Confederate statue, there is one of those green historic markers that talks about the first successful sit-in.
And then it happened in Greensboro. But Greensboro was the more widely known event. Well, of course, that's where the Civil Rights Museum is today.
That Woolworths.
That exact same spot.
Yep. On the 1st, in 2008, New Zealand crop and food research scientists announced that they have created a tear-free onion, which I don't understand because I don't cry from onions.
Oh, really?
No, but it
Really?
makes me want to sneeze. So it's a different reaction.
Yeah.
Same thing as just still mucus, just from the different pore.
Oh my gosh, onions. Depending on the onion, some obviously worse than others, but oh yeah, I just pour.
Yeah, I don't do that. My son's sitting there, go, woo, and he'll start wiping his face and stuff, and I'm like, it just makes me want to sneeze. I love onions though.
Yeah.
Now I do. If you would have heard me say that 2 years ago, you would have fell on the floor because I didn't.
But now
I do.
Now you've been converted.
I'm an onion tear now.
It's a good. It's such a staple item.
It is. It took me a long time. It took me 46 years.
I still don't like just big chunks of onion. I like, smaller pieces of it, but I love onion.
Yeah.
All right, next.
Oh, sorry. The second Saturday is Groundhog Day.
There we go.
It is Groundhog Day.
It is Groundhog Day.
It is Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day.
It is Groundhog Day.
It is Groundhog Day.
Get it?
I do.
Get it?
I do.
So in the essence of ridiculous holidays, okay, so the second is also Ice Cream for Breakfast Day. Wait, there's more. Not to be confused with Eat Ice Cream for Breakfast Day, which is February the 18th.
Okay.
So what do you do with it if you're not eating it? Rolling around on it?
But for breakfast.
Ice Cream for Breakfast Day, again,
And
is
eat.
the second. Eat Ice Cream for Breakfast Day is the 18th.
Did somebody forget to delete? Oh, we've already got this holiday. Let's delete the eat. We're just going to make that ice cream.
No, I don't know.
What is it? The Monty Python movie, Life of Brian. Oh, I'm with the People's Front of Judea. No, I'm with the People's Judean Front. It's okay.
Yeah, it's the same. I don't know why they just don't combine them and do them right. It's 16 days.
It's the same thing.
So do it on the 12th.
Put it right in the middle.
Yeah.
That works for me. I like that.
Or
And
the 10th. We'll do the 10th. That'd be right in the middle.
ice cream for breakfast. Okay.
I'm all for it, actually.
Wouldn't be the first.
It's also Heavenly Hash Day.
Oh,
Isn't that an ice cream?
it is an ice cream.
Okay.
So if you're going to combine them, you could eat Heavenly Hash ice cream for breakfast.
Indeed. And doing it again, but it might not be Heavenly Hash Day on the 18th.
Right. It might be blueberry pancake ice cream.
So, way to bring it back. Look at
Yeah.
you. It's also Tater Tot Day. It's Groundhog Day.
It's Groundhog Day.
It's Groundhog Day.
It's Groundhog Day.
And on the
It's tater tots.
on the second in 1897, Alfred L. Krall of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, received a patent for an ice cream mold and disher, what we call a scoop.
A scoop.
His basic design is still what we use today.
It was a good design.
In 1897, on the second, Howard Deering Johnson was born. He was the founder of Howard Johnson's chain of restaurants and motels,
Oh, those.
featured heavily in both Blazing Saddles and Mad Men.
Hojo's.
Hojo's.
Oh my gosh, my family used to love Hojo's.
I don't know that I ever ate at a Hojo.
Oh, it was a go-to.
Yeah.
Especially now when we lived in Florida, there were more of them then than we have now. But yeah, it was. We had a moment I still remember where this guy was out. It was the manager of the place. He was changing a light bulb right outside the window where we were sitting. And my uncle, who's always cracking up, was like, what? Turns to the waiter and says, what? I got this peeping Tom going on. Come to find out, the manager's name really was Tom.
So it looks like there is only one Howard Johnson's left.
One?
One.
That's it?
Yep.
Where is it?
It is
Put
in Maine.
In Maine. Let me not put that into my GPS so I'll get there.
Yeah.
Wow, to think that the whole chain is back to one.
Yeah.
Because there were a lot of them at one point. The times they have done changed around us.
They have.
But
like I
McDonald's
said, it
has
was
still served billions and billions.
That's true. But like I said, it was in Mad Men. It was a big point of contention. That's when Don's wife, I can't remember the French girl's name.
See, now I'm no help. I have not seen Mad Men. Oh, don't give me that look.
Oh my goodness. You have Netflix?
I do.
Mad Men. You and Whitney. Mad Men.
All right.
You will not be sorry.
We'll add that to the list.
You will not be sorry. Even Stephanie loved that show.
Even Stephanie.
Even Stephanie. She didn't want to see it at first. And then you'll find yourself, God, I gotta watch the next one. I've got to watch the next one. It has moments that it dips.
Right.
But for the most part, it keeps you entertained the entire, 8 seasons or so.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need something besides cooking shows, which is what we've been on our current binge.
Hey, speaking of cooking, because that's what we're doing. On the 2nd in 1971, Richard Hellman died. He was a New York deli owner and creator of Hellman's Mayonnaise. In 2010, Kraft Foods announced that more than 71% of Cadbury shareholders had voted to approve Kraft's takeover of the British confectioner. So
that's an impressive number.
Yet you still can't find real Cadbury's over here. You can find the Cadbury's eggs, but it's not the same thing as the Cadbury chocolate. They stopped exporting it from England.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they could just do the American version.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, it's probably cheaper to do it that way.
It is, but you're still not.
You're not really getting the Cadbury.
Yeah. So the 3rd, February the 3rd, is Super Bowl Sunday. Go Rams. Patriots suck.
I have to agree with that, but I really don't care about the Rams either.
I like Jared Goff, and I like Todd Gurley. So, yeah. I hate Tom Brady.
As a Dolphins fan,
you hate Tom Brady.
I have to hate Tom Brady. Oh, and I do.
Yeah.
I do. I just don't want to see him win. I just don't.
I don't either. The 3rd is also Carrot Cake Day, Pork Rind Appreciation Day, which is always Super Bowl Sunday. And it's also the day the music died.
That was a sad day.
In 1815, on that day, the world's first commercial cheese factory was established in Switzerland. You'd think cheese has been around a lot longer than 1815, but that was the first commercial cheese factory.
It was always done by local artisans.
It was. And on the 3rd in 1913, the 16th Amendment to the Constitution was ratified. It gave Congress the power to levy taxes on income.
They could take that one out.
In 1913, less than 1% of the population paid income tax at the rate of 1%.
I remember hearing that when they first discussed imposing a sales tax in general, or income tax, that they talked about 1% and didn't think that it would ever get passed, that the American people wouldn't stand for it.
Yeah. In 1959, the day the music died, Buddy Holly, Ritchie Valens, and J.P. Richardson, also known as the Big Bopper, were killed in a plane crash near Mason City, Iowa, basically right after they took off. Richie Valens had always been afraid of flying. That part was not myth in La Bamba. He was afraid of dying in a plane crash. But he had to get there. He was sick. He needed to get to the next place. And he did a coin flip with, I believe it was Waylon Jennings. Because Waylon Jennings was the guitar player for Buddy Holly.
So Waylon could have been the guy on the plane.
I believe that's who it was. Someone famous was in the band, and someone lost their seat in a coin flip. And
best loss ever.
Yeah, best loss ever. In 2006, Del Monte announced it was no longer economically feasible to grow pineapple in Hawaii and would cease its Hawaiian pineapple operation in 2 years. Now, this one is kind of self-serving, I'll be honest with you.
But that's okay.
On the 3rd, in 2010, the very first episode of The Less Desirables was recorded.
Nice.
It started in a spare bedroom in my house. Our first official guest wasn't until March 17th, 2010. That was Mr. Jay Platt, our official beer guru at the time. Mm-hmm. We have missed only one Wednesday release in 9 years that we've done the show. Played around 460 songs from many, many artists. Have had 6 co-hosts, many guest co-hosts. And without that show and the 9 years on, we wouldn't have the Beer Dads, we wouldn't have Fan Interference, we wouldn't have Apartment 5B, and we certainly wouldn't have the Man Who Ate the Town podcast. So I say
it all to the Less Desirable.
So I say to Brian, Eugene, Caitlin, Bruce, Danielle, and Bethany, happy anniversary to you all, Crew TLD. Woo! And I'm going to go ahead and say this because it's not just the Less Desirables thing. Next Saturday, the 9th, is the TLD Network post-holiday, post-anniversary party. Because this Sunday will be the anniversary. The following Saturday, we're having our party at Finnegan's Wake, and we invite you all to be there.
I'll be there.
I'm glad.
I will be there. But I will not have bells on.
If they have bells on tap, would you have some of that?
Well, yeah. On tap. That's okay.
If I brought bells, you wouldn't wear them?
I didn't say that. I just said I will not have them on.
Okay.
If you really feel it necessary to bring bells, then for you, my friend, I will wear bells.
All right. Excellent. Well, that is your food, holidays, and history for this week. Special thanks to James Ehler at Food Reference for compiling the holidays and history. The commentary and other bullshit was courtesy of Ray and myself.
Yes. Courtesies.
Courtesies. The Man Who Ate the Town podcast is part of the Less Desirables podcast network. Along with this podcast, you can listen to Less Desirables, The Beer Dads, Fan Interference, and Apartment 5B. You can find all these podcasts and their latest episodes on our network website and directory, tldpodnetwork.com. If you have Amazon Echo or Echo Dot, you can enable the AnyPod skill and ask Alexa to have AnyPod play The Man Who Ate the Town podcast. Or
AnyPod play.
AnyPod play. The man who the less of who ate the town. The less of who ate the town. We greatly appreciate if you visit our sponsors. Like I said, DiLisios Italian Restaurant, 301 Brookstown Avenue.
Call them now.
Call them now.
Get your reservation for Valentine's.
Call them now. The go-to restaurant, Italian restaurant in Winston-Salem. Tony is back in the kitchen at least most of the time.
Actually, that's probably the go-to restaurant. That's probably a fair statement for DiLisios. Not just the Italian go-to, just it's a go-to.
The go-to restaurant. You're right. They have great beer and wine. It's just a good place to be. They had really awesome people from the restaurant that were at the party last night. That was cool too.
Yeah.
They're open 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 to 10 on Friday and Saturday. So check them out on Instagram, Facebook, and on their website, DiLisios.com. Washington Perkin Provision Company is located 301 West 4th Street, not to be confused with 300 Brookstown Avenue.
That's different.
While you're getting your Wolfie's custard, you can pick up eggs, milk, cheese from Homeland Creamery, a cup of Larry's Beans coffee, chips, peanut butter, bread, napkins, hot sauce, and so on.
Yeah.
Perk has a beer and wine wall and a deli that makes tasty, affordable goodies every day. They're better than a convenience store, not quite a grocery store. Again, they're located 301 West 4th Street, downtown Winston-Salem. On Facebook, they are Washington Perk. On Instagram, they are Washington Perk _DTWS. The Humblebee shop is located 1003 Brookstown Avenue in the west end of downtown. Brittany! Visit for cookies, cakes, pies, and other dessert goodies made just for you. The cake for Tony last night, made by Brittany.
That's awesome.
It was like a mirror cake almost.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. If you need vegan or gluten-free, she does that. Everything is carefully crafted and made 100% from scratch, and she wants to challenge your perception of Scratch Made and leave you with an experience you couldn't possibly forget. For more information, follow them on Facebook and thehumblebeeshop.co. That's SHOPPE.co. C-O.
Yes.
Keep an eye on this blog and podcast to find out more about food news and happenings around town. If you have any food news, send us an email, tim@themanwhoatetown.com, or send us a Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter instant message, please. Like us on Facebook. On Twitter, we are Man8 the Town. On Instagram, we are Man Who Ate the Town. My name is Tim.
My name is Ray.
And we're closing the recipe box. Until next time, thank you for reading. Thank you for listening. The views and opinions stated by me or any of my guests are solely those of ours and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of our hosting companies, distributors, enemies, friends, or relatives. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced or distributed without express written consent of the Man Who Ate the Town, that's me, and Such Limited Inc. However, if you ask nicely, we'll probably let you.